doubling down. They'll have from February 23rd to March 9th will be the franchise window. So if they have to decide by March 9th whether to tag him. And if they don't have a deal done by then and they tag him again, then it significantly raises the possibility that he plays on the tag. And if he plays on the tag again, he's probably done in Dallas after this year, because tagging him again in 22 would cost $52 million, and they're not going to do that. So if you're Dallas and you're at the point where, hey, we don't think we're going to get to a contract with this guy, we're going to end up tagging him again and then losing him for nothing, then you start to rearrange your thinking. Oh, do we want to try and trade for Matthew Stafford? Do we want to get in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes? That's the way Dallas has to be thinking at this point if they're thinking big picture. Right now, all you hear from Dallas is, yes, we want Dak Prescott to be our quarterback. We believe he'll be our quarterback. We believe we'll get him signed. But that's the same stuff you heard from them last spring, last summer, and frankly, the summer before, and they still haven't reached a deal. So, yes, we're keeping an eye on that situation regardless of what's being said from the Dallas Cowboys, because they may get to a point where they have to make a different decision even though they don't want to.
There you go, Evan. You're happy now.
Dan, if you want to ever set off Key and you're on NFL Live or SportsCenter with him, if you really want to set him off, ask him about trading Dak Prescott for Deshaun Watson. Just keep that one in the back pocket if you really want to set Key on DEFCON 5.
We can't trade Dak. I mean, you haven't even signed him yet. He's not under contract. But it sounds like there's a lot of things that could set Key off, including his microphone or, wife shopping habits. There's a lot going on there again on Friday morning. So I'm going to definitely keep listening after I'm off the air, because it sounds like there's some interesting stuff happening there.
Excellent. We certainly hope you have the meter in the house as well. Dan, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, Danny.
You got it, guys.
See, this is a different show for Dan. Fridays, he didn't expect us to have as much fun
Fridays.
As we have.
Are you insinuating Monday through Thursday we don't have fun? Is that
No. It's just that he's on with us through the week.
Gotcha.
He's never on with us at the end of the week. So when you pop in, it's like, well, that's a little bit different than what I normally am doing. That's what it is.
Speaking of doing something a little bit different, court is now in session.
Oh. Hey.
Welcome inside the People's Court, because we are the People's Show. Please be seated. Oh, that's right. Everybody's already seated. The less than honorable Zubin Mehenti presiding. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for being here. We're in virtual court today. So we're not going to have anybody actually take the stand. We have everybody joining us on location. And please, as a reminder, when you're not speaking, please have your mask on, okay?
Jeez.
That's like the most important thing I've been told. When you're not speaking, please still wear your mask. Today's courtroom decision comes down to this. Where will Deshaun Watson land? We have cut it down to two finalists. Doug Llewellyn is waiting outside the courtroom for the winner. It'll either be Jay or Key. Rusty, my trusted bailiff, is here. Judge Wapner has the day off. It's unlikely he will return.
How diverse are the jurors? How diverse are the jurors?
We're looking at 12 people. 7 men, 5 women, 3 blacks, and the token Asian, not me. You got a second kid on the way, so I know your wife deserves something great.
My wife deserves the world, but I'm with Key. I will not watch anything with extra purses in the background, Key. Smart move.
It's interesting because the way I feel about it, every day is a holiday in my household. So, I don't need to continue to keep running out, buying stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like...
You know what, Key? She has your love.
Yeah, so every single day.
You have the best of me.
Every single day, man.
Yeah.
Every day is love in our household. We're a happy family. Kids are happy, so it's like...
Just buy Amazon stock.
That's all good.
You give back to yourself, Key.
Jay, all that's good. Amazon stock and this and that, and do all that. They don't want to hear that, though. So they don't want to hear this love. No, they don't want to hear that, because it's such things as called social media in the world. And when they swiping and looking and doing all that, and then they get looking at the Kardashian shows, and they looking at all these other shows, and these girls are walking around with nice purses and things of that nature, and the red bottom shoes, and what is it, YSL? They want some of that.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how to maneuver to get it.
See, Zuby, you would love my wife. She does not watch that stuff. She'll much rather read like an HBR magazine, like a Harvard Business Review. I'm like, hey, why don't you do this with your business? I'm like, thank you. Thank you, Nikki. Yes.
My wife going to do all that too, but at the end of the day, she going to need what she need. That's just what it is.
All right, and last word from me. I might know a guy named Michael Kors. I ain't get you no Michael Kors, okay? I might know a guy named Michael Kors, but no Michael Kors coming from me to you unless it gets really serious. Again.
All right, I see you, Zoop.
I see you, Zoops.
Much more affordable, 1-800-FLOWERS.
Yes, that is correct.
On the way this morning is Dan Graziano. He joins us now. He's the ESPN NFL insider. Coming correct, straight and correct, Dan, is simply this. Key said it, man. If you don't want to be there, you ain't going to be there. And we've seen it with two big Houston superstars. Adam Schefter, right off we got off the air yesterday, officially confirming the trade request is in, even though we know it was made weeks ago. So now you've got a little bit of different information to work with from the contacts you talked to. It's in. McNair, Easterby, Caserio, Culley, Watson, hugely complicated. What do we need to know next?
Yeah, I'm sorry I was a little thrown off by the conversation leading into this. I'm not usually on Fridays, so I didn't realize it was like this. But in terms of Deshaun Watson, Houston's going to ask for the moon because they can. This is an unprecedented trade, right? There's never been a quarterback this age, this good, become available at this point in his career. So I would think based on everybody I've talked to, the price probably starts at 3 first-round picks. Now, that can be 2 first-round picks and a guy you took in the first round last year, right? That could equate to a first-round pick. These are the kinds of deals we're talking about if you are Nick Caserio, the new GM of the Houston Texans, and you are looking into trading Deshaun Watson, which you don't want to do. Remember, Houston does not want to trade Deshaun Watson, but if he's insisting and they don't want the situation to get ugly, they look at this as an opportunity to rebuild their store of draft picks. Remember, they don't have a first-round pick this year as a result of trades they've made, the Miami Dolphins trade to get Laramie Tunsil. So they need to, especially if they're going to lose their franchise quarterback, they need to restock some of those high picks so they can rebuild the team as quickly as possible. So Houston in the position now where they've just got the head coach hired, and now they are turning their attention to this very significant matter regarding Watson and their roster construction, and they are going to ask for a very high price, as they feel they should.
Dan, I know this is about the Texans and Deshaun, but we got here simply because of Eric Bieniemy, in my opinion. And you came on our show a week or so ago, and you said to us, you warned us that Eric Bieniemy probably could potentially get passed over in this cycle. What now? What's the next step?
For Bieniemy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than winning the Super Bowl.
Look, right. After he wins the Super Bowl in a week and a half, then he'll be a hot candidate again next year. Look, I think if you were looking at Andy Reid and saying he's at the end of his career, you might say maybe Eric Bieniemy is in line to take over, but I don't get the sense that Andy Reid is at the end of his career. Why wouldn't you want to stick around and win as many as possible while Patrick Mahomes is in his prime? So Bieniemy will be a candidate again next year. Look, I mean, this is sort of how it goes. There will be 5 or 6 or 7 head coach openings again next year. It's just the way of the league. So his name will be brought up, and it's possible that he will find the team that wants him this time around. But yeah, it's one of those things, Key, where the longer it goes, the more you worry that a guy ends up, sort of kind of missing his window. I don't think that's the case with Eric Bieniemy, but another year of getting shut out, and that's the conversation we're having about him.
We had that conversation with you a week or so ago, and you said it astutely that this could happen, and it happened, and now the Texans are in hot water with Deshaun Watson. Where's the next landing spot for Deshaun?
Really, I mean, there are 25 teams that should be interested, and I mean, it's whoever gets the most creative. Now, you look at teams like the New York Jets, who are picking number 2, the Miami Dolphins, who are picking number 3. If they make the decision that they'd rather have Deshaun Watson than the young quarterbacks they currently have, then that becomes an interesting situation where, like, let's say if the Jets want to talk about sending Darnold as part of the package, or the Dolphins want to send Tua as part of the package, those are potential landing spots for Deshaun Watson. There are teams further down the round that may be able to entice with a number of picks or a player. Like, look, I mean, this is a lot of speculation, right? If you're the New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees is retiring, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you're moving on from Ben Roethlisberger, those kinds of teams could come with a package that could potentially entice. This is a player that should be appealing to everyone other than a handful of teams that have their locked-in franchise starting quarterback, no question about it. And I think Houston Texans are just in the process of sorting through where the offers are going to come from and who ends up being the most likely landing spot.
Dan, provide me some more insight with the whole Big Ben situation. Do you think he takes a pay cut, or is this a potential Deshaun Watson scenario as well?